everybody, welcome back to the LGL Season 4 Power Rankings, where it's, Goose is here, back at you with Baconater. Say hi, Baconater.
Howdy, I hope I sound better this time. Goose alleges that he's fixed the audio problems, but it's not a Goose video without audio problems, am I right, ladies?
What ladies?
Aww.
Is there a female in our server?
I don't know, but putting it that way makes it sound creepy.
No, but that's, like, problematic.
Well, if there is one?
If there isn't one.
I don't see how it's problematic either way. It's not a very big server.
I mean, but, like, when you have 60 people or whatever, you should have...
There's 60 people?
Something like that.
Well, maybe you should work harder on getting some women in here, Goose.
We need sexual equality. That sounds weird.
That would require...
Equality. I meant gender equality.
That would require we get 60 more women.
Why is my Goose so fitting today? Hey, wanna go dance tonight? I don't just...
This is why there's no women in the server.
I'm a homosexual, you can't pin that on me. Moving on, let's just get into the power rankings. I think you need to take the first one because I fucked it up.
Well, it's really just a shame that a man's... Basically, his entire team was absolutely ruined by Picky Peck. And, you know, Chronoculars, he had a good draft. Well, an average draft, you know. But got absolutely packed in the first match by a very, very surprising opponent. Did not expect it to be such a blowout between Chronoculars and Wolfhaley, but unfortunately, he just couldn't do it.
I guess you could say his team was Picky Pecked to pieces.
Oh, we're starting the puns early, I see.
Ah, yes.
But yeah, that Munchlax was doing a lot of damage. I can't believe that O-Code. It had to be banded or something.
It's gotta be, and it only used Body Slam. I feel like if it wasn't banded, it Earthquakes on the Charmander, right?
Yeah, it would.
So, it could be Choice Scarf.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very unfortunate watching everything go down, and then switching in Esper, which was like the only thing that could take one hit, was very unfortunate. But moving on to number 15, we've got Donut Cat, one of, I think, 2 people on this list that didn't move. Unfortunately, they didn't move from number 15, which is not great. Their team was really weird. They had a Swords Dance Pawnyard with Sash, which is sure fine, and a Dragon Dance Axew, which is already like you've got 2 sweepers there, kind of. And then you have Crabrawler running Drain Punch, Crab Hammer, I don't know what the other move was, and Fling, to fling a Lancet Berry to give your opponent a critical hit boost so that they'll trigger your anger point. Which is, like, really neat in theory, and it kind of worked-ish, other than the fact that it still wasn't hitting that hard, and, like, if you fling your Lancet Berry on anything that isn't a Shelmet, like, that has almost no attack, you're not gonna survive a crit. So
yeah, it was like the perfect situation had to happen, and you only got 1 kill out of it.
Yeah. And then you had Lickitung. God, do you want to talk about Lickitung?
I honestly don't want to talk about Lickitung because it was not the worst set to start with. But then you put Focus Punch as its only attacking move and made it Resto Chesto instead of Berry Juice.
You have to use a slot for Substitute, so it can't hit a Ghost type.
It can't Wish. It's just... it can't do anything.
It's a concerning set, and it also comes in as the 4th sweeper on this team. And I don't
Yeah,
even,
this already loaded team of sweepers.
we don't even know what Drifloon was doing.
It just got packed.
Yeah, it just got thunderbolted turn 1 because it decided to stay on an electric. And then the only defensive Pokemon was this deeply obnoxious Black Sludge Sub-Protect Toxic Salandit, which, like, it's
Funny.
so rude. I don't like it in principle. And I also don't like it as a set.
I don't even know how many of Violet's Donut was running this week.
Was he running in a Violet?
Was he? I feel like if you don't run in a Violet, you're not doing anything right.
I mean, Drifloon died to 1 Thunderbolt. I doubt it was running in a Violet. You've got to be doing something with Unburden, right?
Yeah.
Pawniard,
I don't think Axew had one.
Yeah, I would... I guess Axew could have had one. Pawniard I know had a Sash.
Her Brawler had Lancet.
Yeah.
Or Lancet Berry. And Lickitung had Chesto.
Maybe he might have thought it was like you could... he might have misinterpreted the item clause and thought you could only use 1 of each item.
In which case you should still use that Eviolite on Poniard.
Yeah, maybe he put the Eviolite on Axew. That's, like, benefit of the doubt. Anyways, we've talked a lot about Donut Cat. Let's move on to number 14, which is... Oh, wait, sorry. Tied for number 13. ODF!
You're gonna see a lot of ties.
Yes, I think every slot from now until number 2.
Second. Yep.
Yeah. So how about you tell us a little bit about ODF's match?
Well, ODF went up against Weebo this week.
Mm-hmm.
And he very, very easily could have won the match.
Yeah.
But he chose to put Flame Charge on a speed boosting Pokemon. This is a mistake I trust he will never make again, because you need the power. Fire Punch, I think, would have done it, if it gets it, I'm assuming. But I know it gets Flare Blitz. Why didn't you use Flare Blitz, ODF?
Yeah.
You won. You'd won the match.
Yeah.
It's pretty unfortunate, because his team overall was pretty good.
Yeah.
Subfungus was a little wacky, but it kind of worked. He got a very fortunate Scald Burn, too.
Sandygast kind of got stuffed in a box really early in the match, which probably didn't help.
Yeah, I must say the play around Timber was really, really bad.
Yeah. He just let the Timber do its thing, and then switches in Purloin, which also just gets killed by a Timber because Dark loses to fighting. That is the charge, right?
Correct.
So overall, a bit of a disappointing week. Could have changed a couple things and could have been a lot higher on this list if he had done so. Hopefully he'll pick himself back up and recover next week.
Yeah.
As for the other person tied for 13th, who also took a 3-0 loss, that would be our good friend Pratyush. So this match was quite... I don't remember this match super well, but if I recall, it was quite unfortunate. Sizzlipede, he didn't play around Tortuga very well.
Well, he also missed a Power Whip on Tortuga.
That's
so I'll
right.
give him that.
I knew there was some luck around the Tortugas trying to place it. I have very poor memory of this match, honestly. I distinctly remember a Blitzel getting boom bursted by a Talo, and Gandhi hitting a couple grassy glides, but Meowth got stuffed in a box by a Pumpkaboo. It wasn't a horrendous match for him. He just kind of felt a little bit of luck wasn't going his way, and a little bit of skill wasn't going his way, for lack of a better word.
Ouch.
I wasn't trying to be mean. I legitimately, for lack of a better word. So just ended up being kind of an unfortunate thing. I should also explain how we decided to list ties. People that whoever either fell further or rose less are placed lower. So you see ODF dropped 6 places and is therefore in the kind of 14th slot, while Pratyush dropped only 4 places. It's in the 13th slot.
But they are technically tied by win-loss and differential.
Yes.
So they are listing them as tied for 13th is not a lie. It's only matters for who we talk about first.
Mm-hmm. And I suspect we'll see some more ties going forward. Let's take a look at tied for number 11. Jamal, also not moving at all. And not moving at Jamal.
Detroit Obamians. I love seeing the Obama prism.
It's very good. This match was weird. Just weird in general. There was a lot of Rock Blast screwing up.
Yeah. He hit a lot of Rock Blasts in a row at the beginning, but all of them were for 2 or 3 hits.
Yep.
And then in the later part, he just missed 2 in a row.
Yep. Moraine would have gone down to Rock Blasts if they had hit at all better. And Glameow kind of felt underwhelming at spots. It kind of fizzled out. The Frillish set was kind of weird here. It was Taunt, Surf, Will-O-Wisp, and Recovery.
See a 4th move? Oh yeah, Recovery.
Which was it felt clunky. It's a little hard to describe. He also switched Vulpix in on a Houndour, and tried to Weather Ball the Houndour, giving it a Flash Fire boost.
Yeah, just
the best.
As a fun fact, there is no good Houndour set that loses to Vulpix.
Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of this has to do with the irony of this mono luck tag. Rock Blast really screwed with him this match. I would be surprised if Jamal uses Rock Blast again for the remainder of the season.
I'll probably be right back at it week 2, trying to Rock Blast everything.
I don't know. Trauma's a bitch. But all around, it wasn't a super bad match. He only lost by 2. Yes, lost by 2, right?
3.
3. No.
No, 2. 2. Yeah.
Okay. Not a bad match. It was a lot of back and forth, but a little bit of clunkiness on the plays. As for our other tier 11, tied for 11th, Hydreigon, who actually rose with his loss because it was relatively close. I think Baconater needs to get his ranting out of his system. So you want to talk about this match?
Well, he certainly wouldn't have rose any positions if I hit a gunk shot in turn 1. Because that Magpie would have been sent right back to hell where he came from. And it would have been a lot easier from there. I wouldn't have lost my juice on... I didn't lose my juice there, but I would have had a much better start to the match. He didn't have, I don't think, a lot of good answers for Grimer. Because I could just basically always stay in with it and keep gunk-shotting things. Even Dwebble.
And then there is your own... I guess people on 11, or tied for 11th, are shared in Rock Blast trauma, except this is a little reversed. Hydreigon got a little lucky on the Rock Blast, didn't he?
Indeed, he most certainly did.
He was bobbing and weaving some Onyx Rock Blasts.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'll have to spend quite a bit of money getting my Onyx a very high-end pair of glasses. Got quite a strong prescription, but
you'll have to send a couple prayers out to RNGesus.
Indeed, I've been slacking on my worship.
Get your head in the game. Get your head in the game. Sorry about that. And another thing that I thought was a little weird was Vullaby's set.
It just wasn't good.
Yeah,
Like, you need a flying move, especially when I'm packing a Scraggy.
Definitely. And it just didn't have a proper offensive option after something was knocked off. And Vullaby is a good pivot, but if your U-turn is not an offensive option on Vullaby. So, that kind of set doesn't work when Vullaby's hallmark is being offensive-defensive. I also thought Sobble was a really weird bring here.
I didn't really understand it at all.
Just used Aqua Jet and then died. It was very underwhelming. Especially when you have this lovely little Chinchou tier 1 water type sitting there. I just don't understand why this team has a Sobble on it. What, right? Why?
Doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense. Okay. We're gonna move on to the tied for 9th place, which our first is going to be...
These are actually slightly out of order. We should be talking about Sarks first, but we can start with Kyber. Oh, okay, we're mixing it up.
We're doing the switchy swatch. Sarg's match was very, very close, so 1-0. Ended up taking the large L-shaped device. And it was kind of frustrating. Lileap, I think, stayed in a couple times when it shouldn't. Squirtle did the same thing. They both kind of tinked off a couple moves and let Geyser do what he was doing. Sargs was up against Geyser, right? I'm not bullshitting?
Correct.
Okay. And then Mienfu getting sacked off was painful.
Probably what cost him the game in the end, because he had a lot better of a chance against Tyrant, Mienfu still being alive.
And by a lot better chance, I mean he would have beaten Tyrant.
Yes, he was faster than a Tyrant after a Dragon Dance, because Tyrant was running 11 speed, which is why it tied with Magnemite.
Yeah. Just a lot of little frustrations there that lost him this match. It was very close, and I hope to see, going forward, Sargs knocking it out of the park.
Just the growing pains of a new player, really.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he'll start to figure it out a bit more.
Next up, we have our person who, despite losing, rose 4 spots.
Hey, that's what happens when you barely lose.
I forgot he has a level 1 Arctozolt on his team.
That's fucking great.
And I just love it because a level 1 Arctozolt is legitimately worse than any other Pokemon. Like, it is less viable than a Pikachu.
Basically, it probably be one of, well, it probably is one of the worst tier 6s.
Yeah, and like, it can at least deal damage, so it's probably better than Cosmog.
I wouldn't even say that. I don't know. Until level 1 Arctozolt has more kills than Cosmog. You can't be sure.
Which is saying, well, to be fair, he has been legally banned from bringing level 1 Arctozolt. Like, it just doesn't work. It won't let him do it.
What?
Yeah, because we're playing on LC National Dex Legacy. You can't bring an Arctozolt in that format.
Well, now, but yeah, it is worse than Cosmog, because you can bring Cosmog.
Yeah. It is just a cheerleader, but it is a comedic cheerleader. Honestly, I might... if he's, like, a dead man, or guaranteed his spot by, like, week 7... I might just say, play in Nat Dex and let just Nat Dex anything goes, set everything to level 5, and bring the level 1 Arctozolt. Okay, let's talk about the match. There was... I don't remember this match super well either, so I'm gonna hand it over to Baconator to talk about because I'm brain dead.
Kyber was up against Garrett.
Mhm.
We'll be talking about Garrett next, I believe. And their match, it was pretty close. Kyber would have won if he had Bullet Punch on Metatite to go with Fake Out for double priority.
Mhm.
I don't think it's a bad set at all. I think that with a Fighting and a Psychic move covers like a lot of things on Garrett's team. Especially some important ones like Ammonite. Let's see, what else does it cover? I know it covers some good stuff. Yeah, it covers Ammonite and Machop, which are always good to cover. It covers Deerling. And then it can hit Spritzy fairly hard with the Bullet Punch.
Yep.
And it covers you with against Shield on for another possible rocker, and also just does good against Elekid. Or you could run Knockoff over Zen Headbutt to deal with Misdreavus. But yeah, a little tough. He got lucky with the pair on Spinnerack at one point. He shouldn't have thrown away Score Bunny to Ammonite. I think that was Amy's play. But overall, not the worst showing. He just needs to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed of. A nice tight match early on. And hopefully he grows as a player and moves on, and hopefully level 1 Arctozolt gets to spread its wings. Snark? There's no wings. It does not have wings. Okay!
Oh, it does not.
Tied for number 7 is Garrett. We basically talked about this one. I thought the Misdreavus set was kind of suspect.
It was a little out there, but it had the potential. It was more for trapping a Trubbish lead in, forcing it to set up hazards as he nasty plotted. But unfortunately, that's not how it went, and the unfortunate special attack drop lowered the output of Misdreavus.
More damage, yeah. Otherwise, Elekid, Ammonite, Spritzy doing their job. Doduo with Thrash was cool. And Spinnerack actually showed a lot of its value in this game. Unfortunately, because of Week 1 power rankings are weird and dumb, Garrett actually drops 3 places from the post-draft just because he was quite high up to start with and didn't win very decisively. But I'm sure Garrett will continue to do well. It was a clean match. I don't think there's a whole lot more to say at this point.
Yeah, I think he's pretty safe right now, and a couple more wins and he'll be pretty safe for playoffs.
Well, we don't need to be talking about playoffs, you know, that...
Hey man, you always gotta be thinking about playoffs. That's the end goal, baby.
Fair enough. Geyser is in a lot of the same boat. Geyser bringing a team that gives me intense flashbacks to last season with the Vulpix A, Stuffle, Sandshrew A, and Abra. And he just switched up a couple of Pokemon. Acid Armor on Tentacool was kind of neat. It kind of helped him to slightly more effectively stonewall a Mienfoo.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary, but it kind of worked out.
Yeah. Rising 3 places. I'm sure Geyser's gonna do fine this season. Geyser's proven himself.
Indeed.
In a lot of ways, it's just kind of like, yeah, you're doing your thing, you've got your team. I hope Geyser kind of shakes it up, at least next season. Because, like...
I think he plans to.
Yeah. Good. That's good to hear. Just because, you know, Vulpix, Sandshrew, Punch. Cool. That's cool, dude. And we see a lot. We're gonna see a lot of creativity moving forward, and we saw a lot of creativity this week. So, rant over.
Sure, he's got some creative sets in the books for the future.
Yes. Move on to the people tied for number 5, starting with Jaw, who also dropped 3 slots because of just a really strong team to start off with. Had a solid enough week. What? No. Why is it back at the...
How did you do that? What key did you hit?
Oh, home. I hit home, didn't I?
Oh,
Okay. Jaw packing a decent match. Is this the match I don't... Oh, this is... Yeah, okay, never mind.
this is Rock Blast RNG, the match.
Yes. This is Moraine refusing to die. Bringing Hoot Hoot straight out the bat, and Hoot Hoot...
Very bold.
Yeah, and Hoot Hoot ducking and weaving some Rock Blasts helps. It actually performed quite well. I liked the Defog, Roost, and Tailwind. Shadow Ball was very underwhelming, just kind of pinging at Frillish. Shadow Ball being your only move seems very suspect. Didn't see a whole lot of Drowsy. Houndour was alright. It was really about that Swirlix and the Moraine, if I recall. Didn't see Diglett, which is interesting. I think it makes sense for the match. Otherwise, I don't have much more to say. Do you have anything you want to
add? No, nothing much, but I do agree with you that Diglett makes sense for the match because Vulpix is probably running Heat Rock over Scarf. It might not be, but it could be. It can also trap in at Bulbasaur, not in Sun, and eliminate it early, which I think is great. Could take care of something like Kabuto as well.
Well, Kabuto handled itself in this match.
Yeah, boy did it. Can also
Go ahead.
take care of Heat-Proof Bronzor as just something it can do.
And I know personally I do actually like to run Heat-Proof on my Bronzors every now and then, just as a sort of duck and weave around people who... Nobody hits an Earthquake into a Bronzor, so you just have to be careful about switching. I'm a little surprised we didn't see Pineco in our first match, considering his team name is basically worshipping this Pokemon. Hopefully we see a little bit more of Keith going forward.
He will make his revenge.
He will. Moving on to the other person tied for number 5. It's you! Oh my god! Look at that! That's crazy. Dropping two slots because of shenanigans. I thought you played a pretty tight game, got screwed over by RNG, and recovered pretty handily. What was your Meowth G set, if I could inquire?
Let's just check. It only had 3 moves because since my power supply is a bit fucked. Since when I have Streamlabs OBS up to record, my keyboard freaks out a little bit. And at one point I hit the delete key, and then when I clicked back on my Meowth set, what happens when I power search is it'll just keep pressing that key, and I didn't notice it did that, and it deleted Play Rough, which is probably the second worst move it could have deleted.
Behind what?
So the Fake Out, I think.
Yeah.
So the entire set was Fake Out, Ironhead, U-Turn, Play Rough with Tough Claws, and Eviolite, Max Attack Adamant, Max Defense 36 HP. Come on, Goosey, you tell me you don't remember the exact set from my analysis video?
I'm gonna be entirely honest. I skimmed through the team building portion.
Oh. Yeah, that's what I know. Not everybody wants that. Really cares about team building. They want to see the hot, heavy action.
Especially since I experience so much Pokemon. Yeah, it's just a clean... Well, no, it was not a clean match. It was a messy match. But not because of you.
It was dirty.
It was grimy. I could feel the grime on my monitor.
From my grimer?
Your Grimer was named Muck Backwards. That made me feel grimy.
Honored.
I felt that on my skin when you named your Grimer Cum.
Hey. Coom.
Coom! Okay, we're moving on. To the people that are tied for number 3, we've got rising 11 spots. The one, the only Bullet of the Uwu Swabloos.
I'll be real, he kind of gamed on Pratty that match. That was just some heat with the Magician. White Herb. Good lord.
Bullet's play was super clean in that Fennekin set. Using Overheat and then resetting with the White Herb and then stealing Pratty's Eviolite is...
Oh, too dirty.
It could make a grown man cry.
Indeed. Made me cry.
And he brought one tier 1, Tortuga. And the Pokemon that were pulling a lot of weight were his Tailo, his Fennekin, and his Pumpkaboo. Lower tier Pokemon. That's signs of a good player. That's what you want to see in a really skilled player. So I think Bullet is a serious threat in the Ruby division. And even if the draft didn't go probably as well as I think Bullet could have had, I think the play that was displayed in this match was high tier.
Indeed.
Moving on to the other tied for number 3, we have Weebo dropping 2 slots. You want to give a little synopsis of Weebo's game, or at least
he had. Well, his team was pretty good. I think the Mudbreak, Carvana, Lit, and Honedge, Timber, Snivy. Obviously, he's just bringing his top 6, but still, that's a very powerful top 6. You need to look out for.
It felt like a scout, if you know what I mean. Like he was testing out his power, if you picking up what I'm putting down. And it worked out really well for him. It had
a great start and took 2 of
Yep.
Who was it?
It was ODF.
ODF's Pokemon before he even knew what hit him.
Yeah, just slapped up the Sandy Gas, slapped up the Purloin.
And took away Fingus's Violet, I believe, before that Timber went down.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, I believe it did.
Yeah, Weebo's pretty clearly a top threat in the Sapphire tier. We knew that going into this, and he lived up to the hype. And I think Weebo's already a top contender for a bye week, pretty clearly.
Oh, certainly. I do think that the Sapphire division is a bit weaker than Ruby, especially with Bullet showing to be a very good player, but with Wolfhaley winning 5-0 over Chronoculars, we'll have to see if that was a little bit of a fluke. Yeah, but hey, we didn't spoil it. We already showed Chronoculars. Unless people forgot, which is possible.
This is going to be a long-ass video, as always.
No, it's not that long. It's not even at, the 45-minute mark yet.
Yeah,
I don't think.
33 minutes, guys.
Look at this. It's going to be a short power ranking. You kidding me?
We still got to do stats, so...
Oh yeah, stats and facts. Those are always good. But I think we can move on.
Let's move on to number 2. The one, the only, Gandhi, who is technically the current title holder.
Oh yeah, I just realized Bullet and Weebo were out of order. Because Weebo went down 2, Bullet went up 11. Oh, whatever.
Gandhi is currently the only player in the league that has won a season. Because Not Shady Kid didn't show up for the season. So Gandhi is the person with the belt. Rising. A dead-ass
crime. A crime that I did not win season 2. 1 Zen Headbutt flinch.
Yeah, that was a fun season. Gandhi brought his... I don't want to say A game. Gandhi brought his rock-solid B+ game. Just a solid match, a solid team. Skrelp was, if I recall, worked out pretty nicely. Electrike showed itself to be valuable. His tier 4s are just so good. Electrike, Shelmet.
Litleo?
Litleo. He recently ended up with a Dino, which is like...
No. Oh, wait. Yeah, why did he pick up Dino?
Fuck if I know.
Fuck it. Dragon Dark, that's actually something his team doesn't have.
Yeah. Dragon these nuts on your Dark type. I'm sorry.
Oh my lord.
And he just had a clean match, displayed far-fetched, got to show off his solid tier 4s, at least Shelmet and Electrike. I don't remember who else was... I think Snubble was there, but never came out.
Honestly, don't remember. It was such a lick of tongue and
Donut Cats was
brawl or
so
whatever.
memorable, as Gandhi just kind of slaughtered them with Electrike and bobbing in and out. It just shows you how strong tier 4s can be. That Shelmet and Electrike are the memorable ones that really carried the match alongside Farfetch G. But those tier 4s are the glue. You can't see it, but I'm currently like pretending to fondle something with my hand to signify glue, I guess.
Good lord, you had to use the word fondle.
We already talked about the gender discrimination thing. We don't need to bring it back up.
Oh boy.
Moving on to number 1. We have...
the only. Yeah, LGL history.
Definitely.
Worst tough first.
Worst to first. Wolfhaley.
Granted, his team has undergone a lot of changes since draft. But
genuinely frustrating amount of changes at times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this team was re-ranked. It would probably be somewhere in the mid to high 50s, maybe low 60s, so it would not even be a number 1 team by any means.
No,
but
I think that's even a little generous. I think mid 50s is about right. This team isn't a masterpiece, at least in my eyes. The triple water types really holds me back on it.
Horsey
plus Piplup is just...
He can get a tier 4!
Yeah, he could get a tier 4. But that we're not team... let's talk about the match. And by the match, I mean Munchlax hit 2 body slams and killed 2 things. And then died.
Peck just started going.
Just hit 4 bullet seeds.
Going.
And it won.
Essentially, yep.
Skill Link's one hell of an ability, giving Picky Peck access to a grass move that breaks substitutes and focus sashes.
And sturdies.
And sturdies, and has a base power just slightly higher than close combat. Picky Peck's nasty. And just brutal. And currently is the kill leader of the entire league with 4 kills. Yeah. And the rest of his team didn't do anything, but they didn't have to. I would be surprised if Wolfhaley maintains at the very top, at least.
Let's check the schedule. We haven't really talked about next week matches at all yet, but Wolfhaley will be going up against Jaw, which will be, I think, a great test of skill.
Yeah, if Wolfhaley comes out of next week looking good, looking strong, then Wolfhaley is a genuine Sapphire threat. Also, I should note, the top 3 are all Sapphire group.
Huh.
Well, Ballet's also... Okay, no, they're not. The top 4 is 75% Sapphire group. I think that just signifies Sapphire's a bit more polarized, I think. There was a lot more... just a lot more Extrema in Sapphire. But... Yeah, I think it's... I can't wait for next week. This data is really finicky and kind of meaningless. If you've heard of small sample size, this is literally the definition of small sample size, right?
Hey, don't let that distract you if you're one of those big movers, feel good about it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because it might not last.
That's not why you should feel good about it. You should feel good about it because you did a good thing, and we're proud of you.
You won. You're not going winless. You will not be Epsilon.
You will not pull an Epsilon.
But there are 8 of you that's still good.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Sargs.
Or Sargs.
I don't know why I pulled out Sargs. That was really mean. But
there's one more thing. Nobody's ever gone undefeated. Not even in our shortened 7-game season.
Yeah,
we had some 6-1.
Not Shady
but
came
no.
damn close. Like,
damn close, indeed.
he lost to Gandhi in week 6 or 7?
7.
It's just flat out week 7. Gandhi is a god slayer, although he wasn't able to pull it off in finals last season. But let's move on to everyone's favorite section. Stats and facts.
Ooh.
So, in the beginning, literally everyone was some form of tied, until we realized Porygon had made some sort of terrible error and recorded Gandhi versus Donuts match as a 5-0. I don't know
I don't really know why. Yeah.
Lord knows. Rock Blast accuracy, 69%.
Oh my god. Nice.
Also, I want to point out, 16 Rock Blasts were used this week. That is one Rock Blast for every single player. That's kind of nuts.
Especially since, some people didn't use any.
Yeah, there's a solid number of matches. I think there's 3 or 4 matches that just had no Rock Blasts in them. So there was just a lot of blasting rocks and chastin pots. I don't know. We've got a set of the week and a dud of the week. You want to talk about the set of the week or the dud of the week?
I really want to talk about the dud of the week, so you can start with the set.
Alright, set of the week. We already kind of hyped it up, because it might just be the set of the season. Like, legitimately, it's that good. And it is Magician, White Herb, Overheat, Fennekin. It's so clever on so many levels, and you can only do it with this one specific low-tier fire type. And it's this gorgeous synergy, and I hope it shows up again, because it was so cool. Oh, pardon me.
It's okay, I feel the same way.
For dud of the week?
Fortunately, oh my god, it could have been so good if you did Belly Drum with the different moves. Or even, say you keep the 3 not attacking moves. Don't use Focus Punch, use Body Slam. It has 30% para, it's stab, it doesn't die if you get hit. It's just good.
Yeah. It is just a frustrating little set.
Indeed.
As for match of the week, I had to give it to Gandhi versus Donut Cat. We had that sub belly drum set. We had flinging Lancet Berries, Drifloons just sitting there and getting thunderbolted by an Electrike. And just so much nuts things going on, and Gandhi the whole time just kind of playing normally. It reminds me of the "this is fine" meme. It's just staring at the fire and being like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep winning. It was just a lovely little match to watch. As for Baconator, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Geyser and Sargs, because I'm all for a real close match, and that was through and through, 1-0 ending, and it came down to a speed tie between a very slow but bulky Tyrant and your average Magnemite. Magnemite would have killed, it did have Flash Cannon, it 100% kills Tyrant from that range. It's got a lot of special attack. If you don't know, Magnemite hits 20, so you should look out for that thing, because it'll pack the wall up, and he won't be ready. And who just got absolutely cleaned up by Magnemite? You did. And yeah, Sarg's misplayed very hard with Mienfoo. There's no way around it. It shouldn't have been thrown out.
No.
Magnemite should have been thrown out at the time,
Absolutely.
actually, but it's okay. It's new player. And,
New player.
I'm sure he'll start doing better.
And I think we just have one last thing to say.
Indeed.
That's it! Go away!